If you've been scrolling through endless listings, comparing dimensions, finishes, and price tags, and you still feel that nagging doubt about whether the next appliance you click Add to Cart on will actually fit your life, this review is here to clear that up. I've spent the last few days looking at how a 15-inch beverage center actually lives in a kitchen, an office break room, and even a tiny Airbnb pantry, so you don't have to guess. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the core question most people have. Does a dedicated drink fridge solve a real problem, or is it just another piece of hardware that ends up gathering dust? The Summit 15-inch beverage center is marketed as the perfect space for drinks at home or your business. That promise sounds good on paper, but the real test is whether it integrates into everyday routines without forcing you to rearrange everything else. From a size standpoint, the unit sits at 15 inches wide with a 2.6 cubic foot interior. In my own kitchen, that means it slides neatly between the stove and the wall cabinet, occupying roughly the footprint of a single dishwasher drawer. If you have a narrow galley kitchen, that slim profile is a genuine advantage. You can tuck it into a gap you'd otherwise leave empty. For a small office break room, the same dimensions mean it can sit on a standard counter without crowding the copier or the coffee machine. The key takeaway: this is not a massive freezer. It's a compact cooler that can sit on a counter, a shelf, or a low-wall niche. The exterior combines stainless steel with a tempered glass door. The stainless gives it that modern, hotel lobby vibe, while the glass lets you see the contents at a glance. In practice, the glass door is handy when you're hosting a quick gathering. Imagine you're throwing a backyard brunch and you want to grab a bottle of rose without pulling the whole fridge open. The transparent panel does the job, and you avoid the cold blast that a full-door fridge can unleash. On the flip side, the glass can show fingerprints and smudges, so if you're a kitchen that sees a lot of hands, you'll need to wipe it down more often than you would a plain metal door. Now, let's get into daily usability. The unit comes with a simple temperature dial rather than a digital display, which feels intentional for a product of this size. In my testing, turning the dial to the middle setting kept a six-pack of beer nicely chilled after a couple of hours, while a few cans of soda stayed cool, but not frosty. If your routine involves rotating drinks throughout the day, say, swapping out a few bottles of water for a fresh batch of juice, the manual dial makes quick adjustments easy without needing an app or Wi-Fi. However, that simplicity also means you won't have precise temperature readouts. So if you need an exact 35°F for a wine collection, you might find the control a bit too coarse. Energy consumption is another practical point. Summit doesn't publish a specific wattage for this model, but a 2.6 cu.ft. unit of similar size typically runs around 100,150 watts on average. For a household that already runs a full-size fridge, the additional draw is modest, roughly the same as a standard microwave on low. If you're environmentally conscious, the unit isn't a major power hog, but it's not a green appliance either. It's best suited for situations where the convenience of a separate cooler outweighs the tiny extra electricity bill. Who should buy this? If you're a couple or a small family that likes to keep a rotating stock of beverages, craft beers, sodas, bottled water, or a few jars of homemade lemonade, this beverage center offers a dedicated space that prevents those items from cluttering the main fridge. It's also a solid pick for a boutique coffee shop that wants a sleek, visible cooler for cold brew bottles, or for an Airbnb host who wants to give guests easy access to chilled drinks without sharing the kitchen fridge. The modern stainless glass look adds a touch of class that can elevate a simple pantry into a minibar. Who should skip it? Larger households that regularly entertain with big parties will likely outgrow the 2.6 cu.ft. capacity quickly. If you often need to store large platters, party trays, or multiple cases of wine, you'll find the interior shelves a bit limiting. The unit also lacks a freezer compartment, so it can't double as an ice cream storage solution. For anyone who expects a single appliance to replace both a fridge and a freezer, this isn't the answer. Let's talk about a few practical strengths that become evident after a week of use. The first is the always-ready factor. Because the unit stays on continuously, you never have to wait for a full fridge to chill a new six-pack. I noticed that after adding a box of chilled orange juice in the morning, it stayed at a perfect drinking temperature for the whole day without any noticeable temperature swing. The second